Samaritan is about an old superhero who lost his will to fight a long time ago after his twin brother died, until a really annoying kid forces him back into it by being a dumb, selfish brat. There's also a twist at the end that's pretty obvious if you pay attention at all. It starts off with a kid telling a story about twin brothers who were born with superpowers because their city was covered in trash or something. Seriously, that's what this news article says. They were bullied for it, and the townsfolk boarded them in their house one night and lit it on fire.
The parents were burned alive.
What the hell? So Samaritan decided he wanted to protect these people and became a hero, and Nemesis decided screw these people and became a villain. After years of fighting, Nemesis made a hammer, which I guess is the only thing that can kill Samaritan for some reason, and uses some plan about blowing out the power grid to lure Samaritan to the city's power plant. So they fight and they both die in an explosion. As far as anyone knows, Samaritan and Nemesis. Those were the best names they could come up with. This movie's gonna be awesome. It then goes to the present day with Sam watching a video on if Samaritan is still alive. Sam's taking out the trash and sees a Nemesis symbol in the dumpster, so he takes out this can of spray paint that I guess he carries around with him and sprays a Samaritan symbol over it. Then this old guy comes out and takes a fan. The next day, Sam sees the old man named Joe and his broken radio. But then his friend shows up and Sam goes with him to steal some copper wire from an abandoned house. And they take it to some Nemesis fan named Cyrus to sell it. Gee, I wonder who sponsored this movie. While they're selling the copper, Cyrus and this guy who looks like he's 15 show up. I think his name is Reza, but I'm just gonna call him 15. So 15 here wants them to do a job for him. Sam's friend is smart and says no, but this stupid kid volunteers for it. Apparently they took all day to walk to the store since it's night now, and Sam has to distract the shopkeep while 15 grabs a box of lottery tickets. But these morons took boxes of potato chips instead. Then Cyrus shows up and finds out Sam is a Samaritan fan.
Me? I got a different perspective.
Yeah, I think you could tell that by the Nemesis symbol tattooed to his face. Oh look, Cyrus has an entire box of bombs. So what did he need the lottery tickets for? Anyway, Sam is walking to somewhere and just so happens to walk by 15 and his gang. 15 wants the money from his job and they chase Sam down the street. And they just so happen to run past a bus that Joe is on. So Joe follows them and practically kills these guys. Because that's what heroes do. So 15 tries to stab him and Joe gets really pissed and bends the knife. So Sam decides he must be a Samaritan and starts spying on him. Meanwhile, Cyrus and his gang I guess have a stolen police car and it dressed up like cops. Because people are completely gonna believe that the people with the Nemesis tattoos on their faces are cops. So they go into some evidence locker, blow up the one guard with a bomb, blowtorch their way through the safe, steal Nemesis' mask and hammer, and leave without any trouble. First of all, if they could just do this, what the hell did they need to dress up as cops for? Second, how did no other cop hear or see any of this? Was that guard literally the only person in the building? What the hell kind of logic is that? Also, I guess the hammer gives him Nemesis' power. Anyway, meanwhile Sam is going to tell the guy from the video earlier and his creepy hairless cat that he found Samaritan.
He's a garbage man. He lives in the apartment building across from me.
That's convenient.
It is pretty convenient that he lives across the street from an obsessed fan. But he doesn't believe him, so Sam decides, you know what's a good idea? Break into his apartment and steal his Samaritan scrapbook. There is no reason for him to do this. Why would he steal from his hero? But he left like half of it on the floor so Joe can go and get it back. Later on, Sam and Joe just happen to meet outside and Sam admits that he thought Joe was Samaritan. And Joe says he has the scrapbook because he's a Samaritan fan too. Then 15's gang just happened to drive by and hit Joe. This movie has so many convenient things that just happen. Then Joe starts healing and smoking, goes into the shower in his apartment and steams up the whole place. Gee, I wonder who sponsored this movie. All the steam and ice cream is because he overheats when he gets hurt, and if he doesn't cool it down, he'll have a heart attack or something.
I can't believe I found Samaritan.
Wrong.
By the way, this kid's acting is terrible. That night, Cyrus and his gang throw one of the bombs down a manhole, so everyone goes towards what just exploded, and Cyrus says that he's Nemesis and to follow him. And everyone just goes, oh, okay, and starts rioting, even though he just wiped out the power of their buildings and destroyed their cars 2 seconds ago. Do the writers really think that's how people would behave in this situation? Whatever, Sam's back to stalking, Samaritan, and once they get to the pawn shop, Joe gets upset at some guy and rips the handle off the shop door. Great hero-like restraint there. I guess they spent the whole day together since it's night now, and Joe promises to try to fix the broken watch that Sam has. Sometime later, Rocky here decides to teach Sam how to fight, and Sam punches him in the stomach. So they get him some ice and Sam starts talking about Nemesis again, and Samaritan starts thinking about that night and kicks Sam out.
Go home.
I thought he lived across the street. What the hell is he doing down here? But it's just so Cyrus can pick him up and take him to their hideout. Cyrus is having Sam work as a lookout, but he gets bored and goes inside, just so he can watch Cyrus shoot some guy in a PG-13 way. And he figures out that Cyrus might not be a good guy after all, as if he shouldn't have known that already. So Sam goes back outside and sees 15 beating up his friend, who I forgot even existed. So he tries to help him and gets his hand broken for it. Are the cops not doing anything about the riots then? I know Cyrus owns the cops or whatever, but this isn't part of that. Anyway, 15 takes Sam back home and Samaritan sees and takes him to the hospital.
What the hell happened with my son?
Some kids beat him up.
And you couldn't stop them? Some hero you are.
He wasn't even there. What the hell was he supposed to do? Whatever, back at the hideout, 15 tells Cyrus the old man is still alive. So I guess they find out where he's going and follow him. So Joe beats half of them up and literally kills 3 of them. I'm starting to think he might not be a good guy. Then this random kid starts yelling about what happened while people are recording with their flip phones. Wait, I thought this was set in present day of 2022. Why does everyone have goddamn flip phones? And then he saves her from a bomb, so I guess he has to be a good guy, right? Back at his apartment, Sam tells Joe to stop Cyrus from blowing up the power station. But Joe says no, so Sam does a terrible job at getting upset.
You're just as bad as everybody else.
And breaks into his apartment again, looking for his watch that I forgot existed. Then Cyrus and his gang just so happen to come to Joe's apartment just after Sam leaves, and these dumbasses just start shooting with these terrible gun effects at nothing. What the hell are they even doing? Then Cyrus just so happens to see Sam and his mom watching, so now they're going after them. This movie's logic just gets worse as it goes on. So they go to the roof for some goddamn reason and get trapped. Meanwhile, Joe is at a bus station and just so happens to remember that he still has Sam's watch that they took from him. So he has to return that before he leaves just so he can find out what happened. And so he loads barrels of gasoline into his truck and crashes it into this building that he knows Sam is in to get to this kid who he is trying to save. What the fuck? Then Cyrus starts beating Joe with the hammer and we get this reveal.
You keep calling me the good guy. I'm not the good guy. I'm the bad guy.
Because it wasn't blatantly obvious halfway through this movie. Then the timer Joe set blows up the gas truck in the building with the kid he's trying to save. What the fuck? He's fine, so whatever. Now Cyrus is freaking out.
Did you know who he was?
I don't know how he would, but anyway, they go to the top floor. Meanwhile, Nemesis kills all these henchmen in the most PG-13 way possible. Seriously, all these people die and there's no blood. Cyrus chains Sam to a metal pole, puts on Nemesis' stupid mask, and wipes out the city's power grid. But there's no explosion, even though they were showing huge explosions from these bombs earlier. So now this entire building is on fire and has been for like 5 minutes. But yet they're able to breathe just fine despite there being smoke everywhere, walk on wooden floors that are burning, and not seem bothered by the heat at all. For God's sake, this kid is grabbing a metal pole that would be hot as hell. Do these people know what fire is? But anyway, Cyrus and Nemesis have this stupid fight, and Nemesis bends the hammer around him and throws him into the fire. Now Joe's overheating heart attack thing kicks in, and oh no, he dies, except he doesn't. And to get out, he jumps through a brick wall and into another building, and just leaves Sam there to walk off like a hero. How did the city get power back 10 minutes after getting the grid bombed? This is such a boring movie with terrible logic. I like how Cyrus can pass as a police officer despite his Nemesis face tattoo. I feel like that would disqualify someone from that job. Or how he can just walk into the police station and steal Nemesis' hammer without any resistance. There is one guard, but they make it seem like he's the only person in that station, and Cyrus just blows him up and moves on. Or how everyone starts cheering for Cyrus once they think he's Nemesis, immediately after he set off a bomb in the area and destroyed all the cars and buildings. They should be mad that he destroyed their property, or at least not cheer for him. But instead, I guess they decide it's fine because it's Nemesis. The hammer doesn't make sense either, because it doesn't give him superpowers, it just has Nemesis power in it, but okay. The fire is the worst. How the hell did they not think about smoke inhalation, extreme heat, or wood weakening in a building that is completely on fire? It got to the point where I was expecting them to reveal that Sam had superpowers too, and that's how he survived. But no, it was just the writer's incompetence. There is so much plot convenience also. Joe just happens to live across the street from Sam. Sam just happens to know someone who works for Cyrus. 15's gang just happens to see Joe after he beat them up so Sam can confirm Joe as Samaritan, and the list goes on. And Sam is really annoying. He's self-centered, makes horrible decisions throughout the entire movie, and steals from his hero. How is he supposed to be likable? The acting is pretty bad from everyone involved. Sylvester Stallone is the best actor in this, but even still, he seems bored. His entire performance is either calm monotone or halfway angry. Javon Walton is terrible as Sam. I generally don't like child actors, but he's especially bad. He can't convey emotions properly, so he sounds flat when he's supposed to be angry or scared and just annoying when he's happy. Pilou Asbæk is okay as Cyrus. He does an alright job when he's interacting in normal situations, but he just comes off really cheesy when he's trying to do the whole villain thing. The visual effects are awful. The effects of the guns firing look like they just took a fire clip art and put it in front of the muzzle, and the fire effects don't look believable at all. I don't know why they insisted on keeping this PG-13. Normally studios do it so they can get more money from the theater release, but this is a straight to streaming movie, so there's no reason for it. Especially for how obvious they made what they were doing look. There are quick shots to hide violence in the fight scenes, and there's no blood in fights when people get stabbed and shot. I mean, there's a part where a guy gets his throat cut and there's not a drop of blood. I have no idea if this was made for kids or adults. It's so hard to tell with whatever they did with it. Don't forget to do the YouTube stuff, and thanks for watching.